me just set the context for today's talk. Um, as you can see on your screens, the topic is graphics that evoke emotions in spaces. And me and Amol Kulkarni, who happens to be a fellow collaborator of our studio and have worked very closely with, are going to present some of our work which we have jointly done, independently done, and it is basically to address the question on the screen: can graphic design create spatial transformation? Contrary to the regular perception that is there uh, in the marketplace, when the thing of graphic design comes, a lot of people think it is just printing vinyls and putting it on the wall. But that's not how it is. Graphics, color, light can transform spaces. And as an architect, I have been in this field for more than 20 years plus, and we have to work very closely with graphic designers to get that transformation. So this is going to be a very interesting sharing. We've tried to pick some of the best examples from our built work. We are not showing you any theoretical research. We're going to show you actually built examples which have been executed. So I hope you will enjoy it. And let me start. Over to you, Amol. You can start talking from here, and I'll keep coming in as and when my slides come.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you so much, Priya, for this wonderful platform you have shared. Thanks all the sponsors. I would like to take this opportunity and I would like to ask a question to all of you that when I said McDonald's or CCD or coffee shop, what comes in your mind? So I can 100% sure few people may have recognized the brand M for McDonald or the ambience of the McDonald. So I can surely say that the walls and the ambience speaks 1,000 words for your space. So in like that, it becomes a very important part that whatever the working place you are working in, or the shops or the malls or the whatever your working place is, has to speak 1,000 word without you to speak that words. So in that manner, it becomes a very important part, and this is a very important part to understand what brand is also and share the context of brand with the person who are chipping in with the with your space. So what does it actually depict? What does actually it helps to create the aura? So this aura will give you the recall value, a strong recall value. Whenever you go into any person's house, you will create some memories aligned with that recall value. So and it reflects the brand personality of your brand. So and it you can give the inside out thinking by the spaces, the direction and philosophy. And this is the very important part to retain the good talented person in your office premises, as well as give the inside out things to your customers as well. So next slide please. So why should a company adopt environmental branding? So of course that it helps to cultivate the team spirit, because every member in your team is they are silently creating their memories uh, with the aura of your premises, and then it motivates the staff to their best. So always if you must give some inspirational points in that place. So for example, I'm a big fan of Charlie Chaplin as an artist. So if I see the Charlie Chaplin's photo somewhere, or if that is not present in my premises, I kept that Charlie Chaplin's photo on my desk at least, so that it motivates me to create new creativities all the time. Or for some people, it may be Steve Jobs or Warren Buffett or any this kind of persons. Then attract and retain the best talent you have. So because they also feel the very comfortable, and they can see the growth part of it. Okay, what company actually is doing right now and what are their future plans, they are how they are talking with us. So this became a very important part. Then visually communication to client about the company, then its values, their purpose of the company, their vision, missions, their achievements. So it feels very proud about to associate with that brand. Next slide, please.
Yeah. Coming to some
Over to you.
simple do's and don'ts, I'll just focus on the do's and I'll ask Amol to talk on the don'ts. Uh, you know, these are very simple things, but very important. Basically, the brand should express the brand personality, and it brand personality has a lot to do with how your company or your brand is seen. There has to be a synergy with space. It cannot, there has to be a balance where the the graphics and the space talk to each other. There has to be an aura. That is why many times when you go to certain spaces, you relate to the graphics and the colors that are there, and that's the aura that you remember. And then of course a wow feeling, whether you are entering a space where you're inside the space, the wow feeling is very important, and it links to the next point. An emotional connect has to happen to the heart, not to the eyes. First the heart feels it, then the signal goes to the eye. So this emotional connect is what brings about the wow. There has to be a visual comfort to the client's eye, because many times you try to do too many things, and the graphical composition will get cluttered. So the next point becomes equally important, that there has to be a visual balance, because balance is something which I either can make or break a composition. And then, of course, the space should talk to you. You will see some examples in slides to come. What I've just said, the space has to really talk to you. Visually, it has to talk to you. Because if it doesn't talk to you, it will not move you. And you will not get the desired effect. As architects call it, the spatial effect will not come. And in doing so, there is a sweet spot that every space has. It is like the heartbeat of a space. So you have to actually feel the space and identify that sweet spot, and try to develop your theme or spatial graphics around that sweet spot. And you will see examples as we unfold as to how that is done. I'll just ask Amol to talk on the don'ts, and then we go forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So right. So as you mentioned, Rahul, about the sweet spot. So of course, it should not be a clumsy and cluttered. Sweet spot should not be clumsy and cluttered. Every brand having its brand palette, their primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, and the interior designer or the architect or special architect, they are having some thought process behind the making the space beautiful, cozy, attractive. So your graphics and the material what you are choosing for executing the uh, desired effect should not be clumsy and cluttered or overpowering. They should be complementing with each other, and they should convey the same exact message that the intent is provided. So that's why uh, don't use material like flex or the into the print graphics at least, because flex material are not designed or desired to put in the interior part. They are very cheaper in the cost, but you can use vinyl material or the canvas or their cloth fabric. You can use any other materials. Then it should not be like a graphic design studio, of course, but if you have the graphic design studio, then it must look like a graphic design studio, but not all the companies should look like a graphic design studio. Many times the graphic designer, they are having intention to uh, show their skill sets, what they can do, so how they can play with the composition. So many times it won't complement with the space. The hodgepodge things doesn't give you the right message delivery. So this is what I feel. So these are the don'ts actually.
In the last point, I just want to add, the architect here must act like the composer. You must have seen the music composer who is orchestrating the orchestra. That is where he is controlling every single musician. So in the similar way, when you are doing a large space, particularly a large space, and there are multiple graphic designers involved, you have to strike that balance and get the best out of each person.
Right.
Yeah.
So precautions to be taken. So everyone, like a graphic designer, the client part, or the decision making person, architects, interior designers, should come across the table and discuss the theme around. So what is the intention, what is the role, exactly what Rahul was saying right now. So these things are very important. Have a brainstorming session within you as a team, and follow the agile method so that everyone will be the part of your team and execute the same goal what is desired to achieve.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Then as a partner, or uh, as a, while you are choosing any agency to this part is especially for the architects and interior designers, that how to choose any graphic partner or the execution partner when you are uh, putting a lot of efforts to for like any company's brand or the special transformation. You must choose a partner who are very much aware of the art execution, and they must ready to take the ownership of that execution part in the qualitative manner. Then they must proactively involve in that process, not like कि ये किया है just execute it, मैंने execute किया so now the changes will charge. So doesn't happen like that. If so, what will the agency who is putting their heart and everything into that project, they are the key partners to for your executions.
I just want to add again, the word partnership is extremely crucial, because unless the branding consultant works with utmost inner passion, just going to get an ordinary product, or a space.
Right.
And in the examples that we will show you, that kind of partnership and that synergy will be seen.
Right, they must. Yeah.
I'll come to um, yeah, a particular sample from a corporate space about precautions. Typically, when we work with corporate clients, now this is an example of a space done for MasterCard, where the ochre and the reddish color is the key colors of the brand. And then there is a 100 to 150 page booklet that is given to us in terms of do's and don'ts of corporate branding guidelines.
Right.
Now, when you are dealing with global brands, particularly multinational brands which are spread across the globe, there are very stringent branding guidelines that you have to follow. And many times they can be like a spider's web, where you just get stuck into them and cannot read between the lines. So it is very, very important to decode every single guideline or the key guidelines with the branding team of the corporate client, and come up with options which translate their logic into solutions as you see on the screen. So for example, we were told green is not allowed because it's a competitor's color. So we've actually done the entire landscape, as you can see, in orange, and we've used patterns of orange and red as hues of color and insets of that color that again goes on the furniture and the vertical surfaces. By the way, this is a breakout space within an open office. So you come here for tea, coffee, and informal discussions. And what feedback we got is this is the best place where people love to come and discuss, and the best ideas uh, for the MasterCard team come out here. So this is a very good thing to hear, because the space and the spatial effect is actually contributing to efficiency and productivity of the end user.
Right. In fact, Rahul, this was what I was wanted to ask you, that to people like us, it seems very far-fetched. I mean, one does not even imagine that corporate would put so much of importance to a color or to a shade. But when you talk about such guidelines, I mean, it comes as a surprise to me that corporates are so touchy about certain things.
Yes, because these are, again, this office is where global customers were to be brought in. So again, I will keep referring that you will see samples, but a lot of, for example, the graphics on the wall, we did 1:1 scale mock-ups at site before the whole graphic theme was approved. So this is a silhouette of trees which runs across the office, but 1:1 scale mock-up was done for one area. The proportions and the finesse of the trees, the delicacy of the branches, everything was studied and signed off on that 1:1 mock-up, and then only we were allowed to multiply it at a larger scale. So they take the guidelines and the execution of those branding guidelines very seriously, because they one of the team members told me that is our identity in a global sense. So it is very important for them. Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So precautions to be taken under that. One must study the material palette, what kind of material palette those people are using, and the installations and the execution part is very becomes a very crucial. See, you can use, for example, China made materials, but they won't last longer, as everyone knows. So for the best quality and best of the execution, use the best of the products. And even I will love to suggest that if you are going to install any kind of painting anywhere, or just flex or something over there, the painting on an average, a Madhubani painting costs near about 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakh rupees. In such a kind of budget, you can actually explore the new ideas, variations, or the some beautiful installations, or the creativity you can explore into, like wood, vinyl, then acrylic, scrap material, thread art, or many more. We can discuss this whole night, which kind of material we can use. So hell lot of material are there, and make a good use of it, so that space will give the benchmark kind of effect, or the that will actually give you the better impact and recall value. Right. So next slide, please.
Yeah. Now I come to the point of mock-ups. So when
Right.
we're doing particularly 3D graphics, this is an example of 3D graphic. The mock-ups from a small scale to a larger scale are very important. Just to give you an example, on the top are mock-ups of this mock-up is 8 feet by 4 feet. It is cut from an 8 feet by 4 feet sheet, and through digital tools we've tried to actually work out the contours of the peacock, but the actual installation at site was 17 meters long. It was 7 times this scale. So we used this mock-up to actually identify the joinery. This is joint at 9 places in the length of 17 meters to find out how the joints happened. And to actually study the drawings, we actually made larger mock-ups, as you can see here, where the joint of the feathers is on the axis of the, high point of the leaves of the feathers here, as you can see here. So when you see the installation from below, you just can't make out it is joint. So this level of study is required, because if the joints are seen, then the whole beauty of this peacock
Right.
will be lost. At the same time, we have to study safety factors, because even if one panel falls down, particularly if there is an earthquake, you know how our media is, everybody will be there tomorrow morning. So we have to be very careful when we are doing the actual work, how it is going to be executed, at the same time, how it is going to be extremely safe. And the third point is maintenance. So this whole thing has been polished in matte PU, so that even with a vacuum cleaner, you can clean it. So all these aspects get studied, understood, researched when you do mock-ups. It's like doing 1:1 scale models when you do it. You do it at, hello? If somebody's speaker is on. Yeah.
I was just checking that.
Yeah.
Who's-
So mock-ups are actually like study models. You know, before you actually do the main job, they help you a lot.
Again,
Yeah. Now we come to some quick examples. We are going to show you quick examples before we get into case studies. The pictures which are marked on yellow kind of highlights are the examples which we are going to show you. But we will just spend a minute or two on pictures which are not highlighted, just for you to understand. So you know what we've done. So for example, this courtyard is inspired by the work of Salvador Dali, who and from the painting Persistence of Memory, where Dali melted a clock, and we had a very tight budget of 50,000 rupees to do a courtyard, and we said, why can't we melt a tree by using scrap ceramic tiles? This is an installation done in Kolar. For Kolar, which is Kolar is known for sanitary products, but this is the engineering division which specializes in design of gears and engines. So we actually went to their factory and got scrap gears which are held by wires, and this is engineering scrap, and these um, installations move to the tune of soft music. So it's all done from scrap material here. And
so I'll explain few of this.
yeah,
Uh,
last one, and then you can take over.
yeah, yeah,
This
sure.
is a guest house we've designed in Aurangabad for a corporate client, where throughout the space we've tried to bring the if there's some memory of Aurangabad. So there are these paintings from Ajanta Ellora which run across the guest house, and as you enter the space, you see these carved paintings, and then every room has got beautiful view of the gardens outside. Yeah, Amol, over to you.
Yes, thanks. So then there is a one installation where you can see uh, a cow-shaped world map.
This
So
one.
this company is Indian MNC, who are the manufacturers of dairy equipment manufacturer. So we want to showcase that the milk or the milk related products are like consumed everywhere in the world, and this is the important part of our daily life. Then on the other side, their bigger boardroom, we have shown the process of how the milk delivers at your door place. So from the raw milk, then processing to the execution or the supply chain. So this is the entirely mentioned over there. As the in the boardroom, we are supposed to cater the guest who can actually relate in some other part of that process. Then on the lower side, yes, we have, so this is a project done for the Lotus Group. So Lotus Group in a Nigdi area, they are having a good real estate brand. So we have given the Alco panel and the signage on the titanium on the other side, which are like some are the protruding effect with the backlit. So Lotus and the Lakshmi. So Lakshmi Chinna in the triangular shape is in an abstract way we have found over there. And the last part, so this is a very abstract theme. So for the Amigos, so this is a game station. So on the Port Road it was. So everything is hand painted in the black light or the violet light, you can say UV light. So next slide please.
Okay, I come to
Okay.
some quick examples which we want to showcase. So this is a project done for NVIDIA. NVIDIA, for benefit of everybody, is one of the world's largest software company which makes gaming software. And you must have all seen the movie Life of Pi. The entire animation of the tiger in Life of Pi was done by NVIDIA software. So when we were to do their space, we thought that something about a big memory that they have created in this world, which is the Life of Pi movie, should talk to them. So this is the poster of Life of Pi, and this is the translation in the space where we exploded the, tiger's face with the eyes actually trying to create depth in the space. And the corporate color, green corporate color actually goes on the ceiling, falls on vertical surfaces, suddenly becomes manifestation on the glass. And in a very subtle, minimalistic way, the graphic actually is where we spend more of the creative energy to create that depth the space needs. Actually, the space is not very deep. It's hardly 20 feet deep, but because of the graphic and the scene of the life of Pi, uh, of the boat and the river and the tiger, it actually gets huge amount of visual depth. This is the same principle we have applied in a smaller scale. This is for one of our very close friends who is a homeopath and a healer. Uh, and we wanted that kind of sacredness to come into his house. So this was a sketch made at site, is that there is a niche here. And in that niche, if we actually have a graphic of a life-size tree, then it'll create that visual illusion that the space has depth. And we did a lot of research on what tree to take. So finally, I came across this courtyard in Charles Correa's studio in Koramangala, a beautiful space Charles Correa had created. And we exploded that to kind of true scale, and kind of got it into that inset. So now, after even 8, 9 years, when people come into the house, they feel there's an actual courtyard there. Some people have gone and touched that wall, but it just starts, making an urban apartment look much larger and very interesting. It actually brings an aura of light into the space. And then this is something which me and Amol are jointly doing, but unfortunately, because of the lockdown, the work has stopped. This is an idea which we are doing for a office space where the idea of open meeting rooms is there. So you actually have meeting spaces in the open, facing a water cascade, and the water cascade is made out of the tree of life, which is this one. And in the um, on the tree of life there is a water cascade. So the mist that will blow from this water cascade makes this space cooler. So this was our sketch. This was renderings done by Amol and his team, which we actually used to then take it to the next level. And then this is the actual installation where the tree of life is in polished granite and this is flamed granite. Actually, this is inset. So the water actually flows in this cavity and creates a very beautiful tactile quality visually, and getting into a recycling water body here. And then as you move along the office, you overlook this cascade from different points. Like this is the passage here, here, here. A small slit is given and you look through this and then you can come to the meeting room. So the sound of water and the presence of the tree of life itself creates a very, very different setting. And I'm very confident that people who will have meetings here will be very charged, and new uh, ideas which are very innovative will come out. Yeah.
Yes. So this is a one startup called Invions. So they are investment consultants. For them, actually, to give actually they used to say any of their customer, like in the any Sensex or the investment, some risk factor like a bear and bull, they are always fighting, and some risk factor are there and their potential growth if the person is having a patience. So to giving that kind of understanding, or to showcase this kind of risk involved into the investments, so we thought, why not we can put a actual graph that points by year that how the investments are going through. So means if you have investment XYZ amount of rupees at 1990, so what it should be potentially right now. So how can a office place detect those things over there and convey the same message that every time they want to repeat or they used to repeat. So for that, we have used this Sensex bull and bear fight over there. Next slide, please. So as we were discussing that the some emotional or motivational part should be there at anyone's uh, office or the working place or any company. So as an investment consultant, we thought about to showcase the Warren Buffett, the great Warren Buffett, with his quotes. And we have observed the founder member of this company are having good book collection. So why not use the book collection, their quotes and their sketch that evokes the emotions and the nostalgia plus motivates them every time and everyone. So over to you. So, yes, I would like to uh, take a chance to showcase this kind of history wall, or you can say the milestone wall. So, so this is installed at Lotus Group. No, they are a real estate group. So, on the vinyl, we have put the signages. So, to showcase the how they are started or which year they have started, what they are actually right now, what are their achievements. So, how many flats they sold, how many are remaining, what are their current projects, everything you can see sitting at the lounge. Another part is this is a very cost effective installations. Secondly, these all material is very much replaceable. You can find if something goes wrong, you can get easily done new ones. So, and this is a very user friendly kind of thing and gives the 1,000 messages.
I'll just add to this, having worked with many corporates. One of the common things when we do branding in corporate spaces has been that employees don't know what their company is all about, and so it's like saying you don't know what is there in your backyard. And I think a history wall or a milestone wall speaks volumes about your company and good things that are being happening, which a lot of the employees don't know. So it actually gives a lot of indirect motivation that is required.
Right, right.
Now we come to some case studies, some of which we have done with Amol's team, the Animagic Studio, in a collaborative way. And here we want to actually showcase the synergy which I was talking about at the start of the talk between the graphic designer and the architect, how they work in a synergistic way. So we'll start with a history wall,
Right.
very large installation we have done. Amol will start off with
Yeah.
it. I'll keep adding. Yeah, over to you,
Yeah.
Amol.
So yeah, thank you so much. So in the history wall, so it is like a big MNC corporate that wants to give a great message that how they are evolved from a starting of that company to large establishment of worldwide. So in that we have seen the, if I want to choose a pick and choose a few of the photographs, they have almost 10,000 plus photographs in their archives. So me and my team members went into their archives and we have shortlisted near about 1,000 plus images. So those images are like we found that they must have on that wall graphic. But we, as that we are discussed with everyone, so near about 10 to 15 images were only to be chosen. For that, we have worked with agile method in that we have taken a VP of that marketing department, then architect Rahul Kadam, then MD of that company with our graphic team. We pick and choose few images, and those images are very much in a smaller in a scale or the low resolution. They can't be higher. Their high resolution will not be able to see. Or few pictures were taken. They have blurred or shaken the camera, so that's why it becomes a little bit difficult to portray those things at the life size. Then what we did is, can you go to the next slide? So we use many uh, expertise softwares to give this kind of large or the high resolution image impact, and then we enlarge those things, did very much detailed research onto that. So this is a image of the what we can say, the Bhumi Pujan of that company, which was like before the independence. I think this photo was shot. So that's why it becomes a very difficult part. But yes, we have executed that in a nice manner, and you can see the result in the next slide.
Yeah. So what Amol told you took 10 to 12 days of lot of hard work, because from 10,000 images we had to come to 1,000, and from 1,000 we had to come to probably 25 images. Parallelly, after the images were shortlisted, we went through at least 6 to 8 iterations, which are shown. The journey of the iterations date wise is shown. So first we started with photographs with write-up, then we went to a collage with sepia tone photographs inserted, then we went to a complete sepia tone one, then we went to a blurred one, then a black and white one, and then finally when we came to the black and white one. However, one condition was there, that right in the middle, there is a portrait which was gifted by Gandhiji to the founder of the company, and that has to be there. That cannot be shifted. So we had to weave our story around that. And this is what you could see in the yard. There were at least 3 scaled mock-ups, 1:1 scale mock-ups that were done to actually see how these 25 images or 30 images got stitched together. Every single joint was worked out in the yard with the printer, so that when the installation is up, it doesn't look, it's not seen to the naked eye, because there was accent lighting at the top of the graphic as is seen here. So it's a 24 feet by 10 feet installation, which is pretty large, and one small mistake of the joint being seen can spoil the fun. So the next slide actually shows, this is at the night before the inauguration of the graphic, which was on very significant day. And then this was on the day of the inauguration. We had hardly slept for 2 hours. So I don't know if we look fresh here, but this is right in the late night when it was all done. And this is the actual installation, which shows you. So the joints are at the fusion lines, where the timeline of one event and the other event fuses. That's where the joint is. And even on site, you can't make out. We've used a very special technique of overlap. So this is something which, uh, you can't quantify this time. You have to put that effort to get it right, because if it doesn't come out the way it is, imagine a 24 feet by 10 feet wall, the effect will just not come. And there are about 300 people who walk past this wall every day, and about hundreds of visitors. So it's very important that that precision, it comes into that work with obviously the composition. Okay. Okay. We
There's
move.
one small question I wanted to ask here, Rahul.
Sure.
After the next slide, there is a small anecdote that you have told me about how the peacock theme, the Indian theme, everything happened. So after, whenever you feel is the right time, I would request you to narrate that anecdote or that incident.
Yeah, sure. I will do that. Okay, we come to the next installation, which is actually, again, a 3D graphic, which I will be telling the story to all of you, but let me tell you the context. So this is for a boardroom complex where there are 2 divisions to the complex. This part is the public part, which is the lounge with waiting area and restrooms, and the entry room, which is a direct connection to the boardroom, and this is the grand boardroom. Now, the whole theme of this boardroom complex is the Indian ethos, because this was done for an Indian company, which has got very deep rooted Indian values, and the founder members of the company were freedom fighters also. So the Indian ethos was very important, and we chose the main element for this Indian ethos, our national bird, the peacock. So as I showed you in the mock-up part. This was the large peacock in the ceiling, but we felt that this would be very, very overpowering. So to balance that, we came up with a smaller peacock, which was 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet, which kind of becomes a backdrop for the lounge. Now, initially, this peacock was to be done in, uh, vinyl graphics, and it had to have a 3D effect. And this is the rendering is in front of you in the screen. But when we had discussions with the client, with Amol's team, somewhere we realized that this is not what will click because it's not looking delicate. I also uh, had a long chat with my lighting consultant, who is also a very good friend, Mandar Bankile, and his classmates to me and Priya, who said that, yes, I agree with you that a vinyl graphic will not give its desired effect. And we then came up with an idea of using wire art, because wire art, when it is floated on a vertical plane, actually can cast beautiful shadows and create a beautiful work. So the idea was very nice. Me, Amol, everybody was gung-ho about it. But then who will make it? And now Amol will tell you the story of how we made it. So the next slide talks
Right.
about that. Yeah.
So there were 2-3 points while working on that wire art. I invited my classmate, Mr. Renuka Das, for this kind of creative exercise. And total 9 people from my team, we worked on it, including myself, on this kind of job. So first of all, we wanted to give the Madhubani impact, which is like a Indianness into it, and we don't wanted to dilute the context. So if you have seen that image part, which is Madhubani sticker, so we wanted to stick with that same thing because MD has already approved that. So just to enhance that beauty, we have used the wire art. Then near about we have 20 to 25 days to execute this because the deadlines were very sharp and next meeting was on already planned with that premises. And then while doing this, we have studied lot many things like its durability, its functionality, cost effectiveness, maintenance, everything. So for the durability, we have used the specialized binding technique, which is a parallel binding technique you can call, rather than random ones. Second thing, we have used the powder coating on top of it, which is an antique brass finish, because it should complement with the background yellow or orangish yellow. Then third one is it must be easy to install, or it should be a detachable, very much easy to dismantle it, assemble and dismantle it. So we have used 3 layers which are assigned on a one fastener or a rod, which are put in the curved wall. So it becomes a very much easy for the its adjustments on the wall, as well as it will give the 3D impact and the shadow, a beauty of shadow or romance of the light and shadows into that. So you can see in the next slide
Yeah.
how
So
it is executed.
before I go to the next slide, for 9 days, Amol Studio was like a cottage industry where virtually
Right.
everybody in the office was sitting and making one part of the peacock,
So it
because
was like 14 to 15 hours, day and night hours you can call. So we have a few of the team members who are actually living in my studio.
right. And then this is the end result,
Right.
where the peacock, as Amol mentioned, is 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet. And basically, we wanted this delicateness and the visual tactile quality to come out. So we had to work very, very closely with my friend Mandar Bankile, who is the lighting consultant on this project, to see that the oculux of this light throws the light at a particular angle, and you get this beautiful shadow that you see behind to actually give that three-dimensional effect, because this entire peacock is mounted on just one support, on a base plate. And that's what makes it very interesting. So actually getting the measurement of the base plate, and there is a partly beam in the wall so that the wall doesn't crack, and the base plate actually goes into that. So all these things had to be looked at because very high profile clientele, some of the people who read in Economic Times come to this boardroom, and one small earthquake or one small shake, the installation should not fall. So though there was a lot of artistic rigor in us, the safety, maintenance, the structural part also had to be looked at and well coordinated with all the other allied consultants, and obviously the lighting.
Right. We are fortunate to have the same premises lighting consultant were there. So we usually take the photographs or we actually mock the everything in our premises for the lighting also.
Yeah,
There is
so
a lot of it.
that year Amol's studio and Manda studio was in the same space. So we were, and my studio was maybe within 1 kilometer. So every evening there used to be these meetings for this one installation of how successful it will be.
Right.
And then you can see the actual effect. What you see on the left is the rendering with the white vinyl, and what you see in actuality is the wire peacock, which in a way balances the 3D peacock, which is 17 meters long. So here I will answer Priya's question. You know, we had designed this initial boardroom on a international minimalistics theme, and everything was done to the extent that the tender drawings were ready, and we were ready to tender it out to vendors, specialized vendors for this work. And it was Friday evening, I think before the Republic Day, 26th January.
Right.
And I got a call from the MD's office of the company telling me that I think we should change the theme because it does not reflect us, because we are an Indian company first with global values. And I said, fine, but what are you thinking of? And I got a feedback that we should use Indian stones, we should use our national bird, the peacock, we should use Indian materials, Indian fabrics, so on and so forth. And I was told that on Monday morning, I want to see a sketch of how all this will fit in. I said, fine, I'll have to do some research, but I'll have to think completely differently. And Monday morning, this was a kind of a sketch in Photoshop, which we showed them, where tactile qualities of Indian stones like Kota, Jaisalmer, the hand-woven carpets from Varanasi, and obviously the peacock, which was is the element which came as was shown. And I'm very happy that that first sketch has been translated at site to almost 95%. There are 5% changes, but sometimes ideas just flow out. And I was documenting that phone call where they kept mentioning about Indian things, and anybody and everybody who has visited this space actually has given us feedback that this actually evokes an Indian ethos in the spatial transformation that has come. So Priya, I hope that
Rahul,
answers
yeah,
your
it
question.
does answer my question. I was just wondering,
Yeah.
would it be possible, if conditions permit, of course, for some of us to actually go and see this place? Would it be allowed?
Sure. I mean, we'll have to take permissions of small batches of 15 people because there are security requirements that have to be fulfilled here.
Right.
But if we are able to break in batches of 15, definitely I would love to take you on a tour here and show you how we got the Indian ethos.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to a completely different project and a set of problems. This was for a company where we were asked to design the HR building. And when we were called in to design the HR building, we chose not to break the building, but adaptively reuse that building, because I thought that sustainability tells me to reuse what is there rather than demolish it. So we chose to uh, recycle the building for better efficiency. And one of the complaints was that so in this building you have trainees who come, uh, for training, and you have new recruits who come for interviews. And one of the feedbacks I was given by the HR head, uh, who was my client, said that they are not proud about this building. It's very drab, and can you make it more lively? And at the same time, we are a global company, but have local values. So I said, fine. Uh, and when we worked out the architectural solution, we actually made a triple height entry experience. And I thought that this country has presence in more than 70 countries. So we should, use the flags of these different countries to articulate this volume. Initially, the flag was horizontal, but this axis of the building has a lot of wind. This is a non-air conditioned space, so the flag started moving. So that's why we had to go vertical. But I think that was a right decision, because the true proportions and the aura of the flags come out when they are vertical, you know. And then, of course, the material palette, which is again very deeply rooted to our context of being Kota stone, Jaisalmer, and even the chairs have dori work done in West Bengal. So in a way, we try to, in a very subtle way, bring out the best of two worlds, the global world and our world. And I'm happy that a lot of the trainees who even don't get selected here take a photograph with this backdrop that I came for an interview here. That's a very good feedback to have. Uh, the This same space further goes and culminates into a reception area, and we thought that just pay attention here. This installation is just behind this reception table. So, we thought that there should be something which binds the volume of 3 floors. And I have a habit of, whenever I'm stuck with an idea, I sketch at sight, and I use the opposite hand. I don't, I'm a right-handed person. I use my left hand so that my lateral brain starts thinking. So I was making these sketches, and I think Archana ji and Vivek ji are on the call. Archana and Vivek Kyuvsara, they are the landscape architects on this project. And somehow Archana ji said, why you want to use, birds? So I said, birds signify global peace. So why not use birds in copper? And I kind of like that idea. I just love the idea of why can't birds be in copper? And then I colored these birds in copper in the sketch, and here it is the cables, tensile cables, which go right across 3 floors, suspend the logo of the company, and birds which go up to signify global peace. So we got a very beautiful accentuating element which visually ties up the volume and creates also visual curiosity, because your eye goes right up and it signifies global peace and coming together. Again, the birds had to be very carefully worked out. If you can see the drawings, every single bird, the motions of the bird in terms of wings up, wings down, wings up, wings down had to be worked out. I had to stand at site and work out these distances, because otherwise the aura of birds actually flying up and it giving a feeling of peace would not have come. So although a lot of detailed drawings are made, which you can see on the screen with sketches, to have for such installations, you have to spend a lot of time on site, because one proportion here or there can make or break the space. Yeah. And then of course, if you see the image carefully, this is a beautiful image with sunlight coming in. So the flags, the birds, the materials that are used, all of this creates a mix of both worlds, the global context or local setting, global values with local values fused together. And this is what the client was looking at. And truly, it's a the first impression when people come here for giving interviews or come for training is they're really mesmerized by the volume, because this was a single story kind of volume which we kind of extruded into a triple height space. Okay. And then, of course, in the same facility, I worked very closely with uh, um, Archana ji and Vivek ji, who are on the call, where we wanted to, if you look at this courtyard, there are training rooms around that courtyard. And as all of you know that human beings have something called as a classroom syndrome. Beyond 45 minutes, our patient levels go off. So we thought, why not create a courtyard which is like a biosphere where landscape, graphics, work in synergy, and there's a very tranquil setting. So, uh, by the way, the training that is imparted here is in line with best of the management schools in the world. So speakers from Harvard, IMA, IMB come here, and there's a lot of intellectual exchange that happens in these training rooms. So we thought that why can't there should be a breakout space like a courtyard, which becomes like a lung to exchange knowledge, exchange ideas, but it should have a setting. So this was my first sketch, where actually I was inspired by a sketch made many years back, which said that coming and going is not important, what you leave behind. And this sketch actually became the context of this pathway, which actually goes right across the courtyard, and there's a beautiful coffee shop at the end of it there, and you can take your coffee, come out from the training room, sit on these benches amongst landscape and enjoy. Again, very important, how do you make this space comfortable? So we had a water body and nice breeze coming in, which cools this space. And the graphics, if you see the graphics which are around the space are blue and orange. So they signify engineering energy, because this is an engineering company and they go right across binding the space. Um, and then this is the reality. This is how the courtyard was when we were given the space. I'll be very candid. When I first came here, I found people smoking in the courtyard and some people were spitting in the courtyard. And the HR head said, you're going to transform this. So just wait, just give me an opportunity. And this is the transformation from there to there. And this is exactly the sweet spot um, um, phrase that I used at the starting. We felt that this courtyard is like the lung or the heart of the facility. We just need to give it some heartbeat. So graphics, landscape, texture, activities, piece of sculpture, everything brought that together. So again, I would say that if the energy wave was not there, this space is not complete, but because your eye doesn't move from left to right and right to left. If the landscape was not there, the green effect or the lung effect that we want would not be there. Again, the tactile quality of the pathway actually brings in mystery. So everything has to work very well. And I feel this kind of uh, uh, composition comes when you feel the space. You cannot sit in the office and draw such things. You have to spend hours and hours at site to actually feel the vibration of the space, the pulse of the space, and then something comes out from your heart. Yeah. Now, we come to a completely different project where the context is a box, and this is for one of the world's leading companies, Fiserv, which is a financial giant. They are into financial tech software. And they have a atrium, which we are doing, unfortunately, because of the lockdown, work has gone slow. 14,000 square feet of atrium right in the middle of the building where 3,000 employees work. And about 16% of this, which is about 500 to 600 people, come to this atrium, and currently they just have tea and gossip there. So the company was very concerned that how do you convert this space where there is energy, energy of collaboration, energy of innovation. So me and Amol actually closely worked on this project where we initially took a lot of photographs, and it's very difficult to explain this in one slide, but just to demonstrate, we took a lot of photographs of the space from different angles, and we had client interviews. So we, of course, you can't interview 3,000 people. So we, called the key stakeholders from each team. There are about 20 teams. So there were about 20 people that came to us, which represented these 3,000 people. And then we conducted interviews and brainstorming sessions and group discussions as to how this space should be. Then we actually did behavioral studies where we actually uh, plonked ourselves as dummy users in the atrium space to actually understand what do people do currently in the atrium, just to validate the feedback that we had got from the key stakeholders, whether they're saying the right thing or the wrong thing. And then when we got all this data, we started putting pen on paper where, uh, you know, so the biggest problem in this facility was acoustics. Huge amount of sound echo was there. So the wall at this wall, which you see in the sketch, had to be treated with sound absorptive surfaces. But this is the most important wall in the space, because when you come into the space, you see that wall. This volume is 51 feet high. And you see this wall. So we thought that because it's an international company, we will print uh, faces from different cultures and countries onto the sound absorptive panels and have the corporate colors of the company forming a pattern, something like a Mondrian painting. And then in a very subtle way, have the logo of the company meandering through. So this becomes a very strong piece. And then in this rigid kind of geometry, which is very controlled, have a very informal kind of space for 600 people where different ergonomic postures to sit. So this is formal, this is very informal, this is bar type seating. People are sitting under the tree, people are sitting by the planter, because you could have groups, you could have individuals, you could have 2 people, you could have 3 people. So all this study came out from the behavioral studies that we did. And then we found a lot of people just went to have tea at the corner. So a tea stall had to be put with coffee and all that, and they were going around the courtyard. So we brought this meandering walkway. There are options for that, so that people actually use the depth of the public space to go. So I would say I in fact did a lot of research on urban design studies as to how people use public spaces, and I found that people like to go through the space, not around it. So all that wisdom had to be brought in. And then, of course, with Amol, a lot of time was spent in actually getting the balance of the space in terms of the colors and how much color should be used where, because in a large volume, if you have to work with balance. And then the final iteration was these acoustical baffles, because when sound is absorbed this way, sound also goes on top. These baffles had integrated lighting systems. Again, here we worked very closely with my friend Mandar, who was the lighting consultant, where accent lighting for the landscape was created, because this space is used 24/7. People work in the night also. So it gives a very nice accented light effect for the landscape. And again, all these things have to be maintainable. So these baffles are at a height where a telescopic ladder can go, and you can clean the light fixture with a vacuum cleaner and come down, a miniature vacuum cleaner. So I would say, many times architects, particularly to my architects friends, we are so artistic and sometimes idealistic, but when you start doing public spaces, a lot of the things in terms of safety, maintenance, workability, and particularly in graphics, balance has to come together. You can't see them in isolation.
Actually, this is where I find this all these three images very interesting because we've seen such kinds of atrium in international buildings outside India.
Hmm.
But the common thing is that at least this is what I feel, that there aren't many atrium designs happening in our country, and you're saying that this is very much in Pune. So, what is the reason that many buildings in India do not have atrium, especially in a corporate setup? Is there a reason for this? Because this is looking so beautiful. I mean, I would like to be here just doing nothing for 2 hours, chatting with my colleague or whatever.
It's a very important question you asked, and uh, you know, some of my friends who are on the webinar who are urban designers will completely empathize with me. We do not have awareness of public spaces in our country. We don't know what is public space or what is a public realm. Whereas in the West, the understanding of public realm is very, very dignified, and a lot of the wastelands or urban areas which were actually dilapidated or ghettos where crime was happening today are transformed urban spaces. Uh, but surely in India, multinational companies and Indian corporates understand this, uh, and they are trying to do their bit. So in this project, I would say that we spent at least 25% of our time in client education.
Really?
Because how do you tell somebody who, the simplest thing I've ever seen in our country, and it baffles me, when we go to Singapore or we go to London, we say wow, but we don't like to understand how that wow can come to our own country. So that is where a lot of time goes.
The other thing, Rahul, I think this question would be for Amol. Amol, माझा प्रश्न असा खूप सिंपल आहे की आता हे जे कलर्स किंवा सगळं दिसतंय ना ते दिसायला खूप छान दिसतं, पण हाऊ डू यू नो की अतिरेक टाळणे हे काही त्याला थंब रूल आहे का, सगळं तुमच्या दृष्टीवर आहे का, कंपनीच्या एमडी वर आहे का, तुमचं ते 150 पानी जे गाईडलाईन बुक आहे. अतिरेक म्हणजे दिस स्पेस वुड हॅव एंडेड अप सेइंग की अरे किती टू मच केलंय, instead of being the very beautiful, soothing place that it is. So purely from a branding consultant's view, how to avoid too much overload?
Right. It's a very interesting and nice question actually, because in this particular place, actually त्याच्यामध्ये 5-6 वेगवेगळ्या टीम्स बरोबर आम्ही काम करत होतो. So one thought process was architect Rahul Kadam's thought process, which we are supposed to inlined with their thoughts. Second thing, जी टीम अकॉस्टिकची होती त्याच्यामध्ये साऊंड ॲब्झॉर्बर मटेरियल बरोबर आम्हाला रिसर्च करायचा होता. थर्ड थिंग की तिथे जे लोक डिस्कशनला चहा कॉफीला जे येत होते, ॲज राहुल वॉज ऍक्च्युअली मेन्शनिंग की तिथे खूप काही पण चालू होते, बॉसच्या बाबतीत बॅक पिचिंग करायचे किंवा बाकीचं काही बडबड करायचे, सास भाऊच्या सिरियल बद्दल बोलायचे. सो वी वॉन्टेड टू गिव्ह देम अ गुड टॉपिक टू डिस्कस. कारण ते वॉलवरती आता ज्या 5 स्टार आणि फेसेस दिसत काही नव्हती, ती जस्ट प्लेन भिंत होती. सो दे डोंट हॅव एनी टॉपिक टू शेअर. Then we have put some screens. If you observe, त्याचे ऑरेंज कलरचे जे बॉक्सेस आलेले आहेत प्रोट्रुडिंग, त्याच्यावरती स्क्रीन्स दिलेत, त्याच्यावरती ब्रँडिंग त्यांचं सतत एम्फसाइज होतं. सो ते चेंजेबल स्क्रीन्स आहेत, टीव्ही स्क्रीन्स.
Just to add, this is a digital screen which changes every minute. So every minute there is something motivational about the company which occurs across the 51 feet high volume.
सो ऍक्च्युअली ह्याचं इन्स्पिरेशन आम्ही पुमाच्या ब्रँडिंग वरनं घेतलं, की ज्याच्यामध्ये एक चित्ता आहे, तो इकडनं तिकडे सतत तो पळत राहतो, रोटेट होत राहतो. सो तुम्हाला कधी समोर दिसतो, कधी तो लेफ्ट साइडला जम्प करतो. सो ते आमच्या डोक्यामध्ये थॉट प्रोसेस होता, अँड वी यूज 5 स्टार ब्रँडिंग ऑल ओव्हर. देन हीच जी प्लेस आहे ही जेव्हा ट्रान्सफॉर्म होते एका ऑडिटोरियम मध्ये, तेव्हा हे जे स्क्रीन्स आहेत ह्याच्यातून ते ऑडिटोरियम मध्ये काय चाललंय ते दिसतं. राईट हँड साइड तिथे तुम्हाला जे फ्लोअर्स दिसतात तिथे सगळे एम्प्लॉईज गॅदर होतात.
So this is again a very interesting point Amol has brought. This entire furniture is agile and movable.
Right.
So you can actually convert this entire volume into a town hall where people could sit either this way or the opposite side, like a classroom. And you can actually have lectures or talks by leaders or documentaries. Like if there's an India Pakistan match, for example,
Right.
or so that will be, there is one more screen
Yes.
on this side, or if there is a TED talk, then it will be played on that screen. So
So actually, we have attended one cultural program here, where in this premise for 3 days actually, and we actually sat with these people who are roaming around. So आणि त्यांना आम्ही विचारले काही क्वेश्चन्स की तुम्हाला या प्लेस मध्ये काय पाहिजे. सो फर्स्ट देस आणि दुसरे जे होते काही HR टीम मेंबर्स होते, काही डिसिजन मेकर्स होते, प्रत्येकाचे काही डिझाईन मधले होते, काही इंजिनिअरिंग बॅकग्राऊंड मधले होते. सो नियर अबाउट 20-21 पीपल गिव्हिंग डिफरंट इनपुट्स. देन त्यांचं स्पेशलाइज ब्रँड एजंट ब्रँड इनहाऊस ब्रँडिंग टीम आहे. त्यांचे आम्हाला काही स्ट्रिक्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स होते की तुम्ही हे करू शकता, हे नाही करू शकत. सो ह्या सगळ्यातून आम्हाला हे जनरेट करताना आम्हाला खूप बारीक एजनी बघायला लागत होतं इन टर्म्स ऑफ बॅलन्स, कलर, आणि हे मॉकअप्स त्याच्यासाठीच आम्ही करत होतो. हे तुम्हाला आता 2 दिसत आहेत, बट हे जवळजवळ आम्ही 1 महिना फक्त कलर बॅलन्स करत होतो, मी आणि राहुल सर. We are just doing the color balance.
yeah,
Rahul,
I
if you
mean,
remember.
what I'm showing you, Priya, are the last 2 iterations. We have
Yeah.
made 14 revisions of this project. 14
Yeah.
revisions. So what you're seeing is just
I
2
can
on the
imagine. Yeah. Yes.
right.
So it's a lot of work behind actually.
Yeah. Okay, I come to a completely different genre of materiality, and this is where my friends from Dalmia Cement would love to see these slides. So we are doing a large transformation management facility. Ashwini, I believe, is on the call. She's one of our landscape partners on the project. And this facility on transformation management is actually to awaken the lateral mind of management managers in a company. And uh, one of the directives from the client was to do this by, sensory effects of space, whereby space touches your senses. And these were my initial sketches as to how we could do this with landscape, materials, and so on. But I felt that, one of the most important thing is when you're looking at uh, transformation, there has to be honesty. And we tried to bring out honesty through materials. So in this project, there is no signboard. Everything is done in exposed concrete, and the beauty of exposed concrete is crafted. So all that you see on the screen is completely exposed concrete. There is no signboard. And before you enter every space, so every space has been related to an activity which matches with the relevant navagrahas. And the symbol of the navagraha is engraved on the ceiling, so you know that you're going there. And again, motifs from nature like birds, leaves, and again, small things like this. This, for example, is, you should see in the sketch, when you're standing here, you directly see the sky. Can you see this? This edge is here. You directly see the sky. If this edge was straight, you will not see the sky. So all these things were done in concrete, and in my view is that this is space creation and crafting in concrete, which also includes branding, because we wanted to bring that honesty out. So some actual examples at site of how this was done. So this is the PVC mold. Everything is drawn to scale. We have made mock-ups. Again, I'm emphasizing mock-ups because mock-ups actually help us understand the problem. So we actually made 1:1 scale mock-ups first at the level. Then when the mold was successful, this is the mold in PVC going in the cage, and the end result is here. You can see here. The same thing with the birds. where again there are holes here and here which you can't see, which has got light fixture so that this bird glows in the night. Again, the steel is curtailed at a vertical and horizontal axis so that this kind of stays. And this is a ramp which takes you to the terrace where the birds have been engraved, as if you get a feeling that you're going to the top terrace garden along with the birds. So again, we would have made in this project close to 100 plus working drawings incorporating all these details. This is this wall which is next to the art studio. This is an art studio and we didn't want a typical wall, because these two courtyards open. So we wanted some light to come through, and we thought a better way of expressing that is by using leaves from the tree. And then this is what you see in the formwork and where the steel work is happening and how those molds are coming in. So basically, delicate contours of the leaves were worked out, and how the reinforcement curtails around, how the conduits go. Again, we again made mock-ups. Once the mock-up, a small mock-up was approved, then we multiplied this. Even the grooves are worked out with special formas which actually go across. So this is actually branding in concrete. I mean, it's like a piece of sculpture. Not a single vinyl poster is going to be stuck here. It's all going to come out from the space. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to tell you something about this place. Many people easily recognize, or many people not recognize this place because it is a previous version what you are seeing. So this is a project called Trill, commonly known as Trill, or Tata Consultancy's IT park, Tata IT park, called as Ramanujan IT park. So they wanted to give a tribute to the great mathematician Ramanujan, and this glass facade you can see this on the screen. They wanted to give the infinity symbol, so that infinity symbol is actually their logo also, and give the tribute to great Ramanujan. On the back side, they have the lighting arrangements or lighting grid, and there's uh, those to be closed in a tricky way. So we have used a few things like a binary number.
Yeah.
So we have used this infinity logo of Trill brand. Then we have proposed the dot patterns. Then we go further onto the 0 and 1 binary numbers. So if you get the total of this binary number, so that numbers are actually decoded as a great Ramanujan. So that is highlighted everywhere in this that logo, which is you can see the below and marked in the red, and this is gone everywhere. Second thing, the gradation into that. So exponentially we have cut those things. So uh, 1 square is converted into 4 into 16. That's why this is how this mathematically go on expansion or exponential growth we have taken. Then the grid actually covers a lot of uh, uh, light grid. So it is covered the light grid, so no light is exposed to the open eye from the downside. Third thing, if you see the curve pattern, so that curve pattern and the square pattern, they are not gelling because somewhere the edges and the cuts are getting closer to each other. So that's why we have used that gradation pattern. So that is like exponentially infinity, the binary numbers into the infinity, the symbol is into the infinity, and this is a tribute to the inventor of the infinity, Mr. Ramanujan. Then how it is looking. So can you go for next slide? Yes. So this is near about 15 feet high and 49 feet wide on the one part, and equally the second part.
It's
So
50
this
feet, not 15 feet, 50 feet high.
50, yeah, I said 50.
Yeah.
So 50 feet. So, and this is the symbol, which is, or this is the installation which is seen by the any airplane which is landed or taking off from the nearest airport. Second point, So if you see the blue lines and the purple lines, they are actually going behind that thing. So it is a 2D installation giving the 3D impact.
Yeah, so this blue wave goes below these purple waves.
Purple waves,
So you
yes.
feel there is a constant, it's like a kinetic movement that is happening.
Right, right, right.
Even in an urban design context, after this kind of installation came up, this IT park was able to command better rental because it actually became a visual address for the
Yeah.
facility.
So this became a sweet spot or the heart of this total IT park. And this IT park has got 3 international awards also.
Okay, we come to towards the last part of the presentation now. Just two case studies remaining. This is done for a very large canteen that we're currently working on. The first phase has been handed over. It's a 1,500-seater canteen for executives for an auto company, and 750-seater canteen part has been handed over. The balance part, unfortunately, is stuck because of the lockdown. And it was a factory canteen of 3,000 workers, now converted into a large corporate executive canteen, where mainly people from research and development and executive functions will come, because the plant has moved their manufacturing to other places. So we've recycled that building and converted into a new cafeteria. And one of the feedbacks we had initially got that, why not we stick posters of food everywhere? And I said that is something which, will make the canteen look like a typical Udupi restaurant. And it will just not have an aura. So we, along with Amol, ideated, and then we came up with a solution that why don't we educate the end user about our spices and herbs. So there are, in the first page, there are about 32 columns on which these graphics have been installed. And what we did is we took corporate colors of the brand and created a palette. And just to show you on the next slide, uh, each each panel is about 1 feet 1.5 inches by 6 feet 3. So it's pretty large. It's as tall as a human being. And every single spice or herb is explained in three parts. One is the origins of this herb or spice. The second is the medicinal value or medicinal qualities that it will bring, and how it is used in our cooking. And you won't believe, on the second day when the cafeteria was inaugurated, I had a lot of employees taking pictures. So I asked them, why are you taking pictures of this? And they said that this, we are going to use this for our recipe and memory when we cook food home. So this is the installation where you can see these columns where the graphic goes up. Again, a very interesting thing we've tried here is that, interesting thing we have tried here is that, once the series of going from this color to this color to this ends, this comes back here. So you actually start seeing a nice prismatic effect of changing colors all the time. And it brings in a very, very different visual energy into the seating area and the cafeteria. So we've just finished this phase. Unfortunately, we've not shot professional shots because of the lockdown, but the next phase will even have 30 or 40 columns with this kind of composition.
I just want to add a few
Yeah,
one
sure,
point. Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So actually to execute this, so असं नाही झालं की just netवरनं काही उचलून टाकलेलं आहे. So lot of research has been done, and Prajakta is here with us. So she actually did a lot of 6 to 7 days ka research for each and everything, and we have put interesting fact of each and every herb or the product that is we are showcasing. So that becomes a very interesting and engaging thing for those who are taking pictures or reading it. So it creates a very engaging activity actually.
I must add that Prajakta from Animagic spent at least a week to actually do research from the internet media, from the books, to actually take out information of 32 different herbs and spices. And then we had to translate that into a graphical logic, you know.
Right, right.
Okay, now we come to an experiment we've tried where uh, the question on the screen I put is, can a building facade create brand identity? And this is done for a school in Chinchwad, where it's an international school, global Indian international school, which has got it's a brand from Singapore. And this was for a Montessori school. So we thought that the logo, which is in G, had beautiful colors, primary colors, and we thought that we'll use them in a very subtle way in the insets of the window to create a very interesting composition. So these were the first sketches made at site. Um, and then the corporate colors and the that itself became an articulation for the facade. And we try to mute the facade with grit. Again, every single line drawn here is worked out on Revit model. So the building is actually as if it's crafted, you know. So every vertical line matches with the horizontal line and so on and so forth. Otherwise, the true beauty of this project will not come out. And this is to show you another question that we asked ourselves: can a brand echo commitment? So this was when we just started. This was the building on which this building has been built. So we didn't demolish this building. This is a retrofitted building, and you know, in spite of various requests, the client somehow wanted to cut these beautiful trees. And we said, no, this is for a Montessori, and it's required that the children play. So we kind of rejuvenated and restored this landscape also. So you can see here, this is the restored landscape, which is treated with artificial grass and paved areas, because you know, children can jump on it. And every single tree was saved, and this creates a beautiful shadow in this area, and children can play. So saving the trees also added to articulating the facade, because as if the trees are a part of this composition, and it also adds to the brand commitment of the brand. You know, so just across the road there is a residential society, and we took feedback from them, and they said they were very happy that these trees are not cut, because in the morning there's some nice birds that come, parrots come here, and they would have gone, and now the children can enjoy all of this. Yeah. Now we come to the last study. We had an opportunity, me and Amol, to work with an Australian artist, very famous Australian artist, Christopher Hogan, who is known for morphic art. So morphic art, just for everybody's benefit, is using these informal organic shapes. This is called a morphic shape to come out with art. And in one of our spaces, he was commissioned to do a wall, and the theme was Indian birds. So this is the mother bird, and this is our these are the children of the bird. And this was his first artwork, and then he came out with this one. And we somehow realized that this just doesn't talk to the space. This is an imposed piece of art, though these colors are from Indian birds. So we actually worked with him very, very closely and convinced him that can there be a synergy and oneness with this space. And then what you see down is what are the options. This was the finally approved option, because the uh, glow of uh, you know, this color was very, very beautiful. We would have made 6 options, 3 mock-ups, and then one day the management of the company said that I think we will shelve the installation, because you know, right now it's taking too much time, and this was for a again for a boardroom. So the boardroom meetings are planned, and if it is going to take 10 more days, we don't have time. So many times, in spite of your best intentions, things don't happen. But I guess this kind of research helps you for your next project. So one should not get disheartened. Is what I have learned.
Yes, I just want to add one line.
Yeah.
So as you said, ki the Christopher Hogan is a great artist, but so those people are from an art background. They can realize that anyone's painting on artwork, if other one is going to edit it or changing the color of your painting, it is very hard. So that kind of rigidness can be expected, but uh, ultimately after this kind of variations and these things, we have got the email from the Christopher Hogan that you have beautified my painting. So that makes a lot of thing, I think.
And it also, just to emphasize on what Amol said, I think design in general is a process of dialogue. It can never be a monologue.
Right.
So an architect has to forget his ego home and has to have engage in dialogue with all his consultants to come up with the best solution that the space needs. Okay, we come to the end now. Just to say that it takes immense effort to create a brand story for respected corporates, small, medium, large, be the scale, but it takes a lot of effort and research and application of that research. So I've just put all the brands that we've been fortunate to work with uh, in individual and
Right.
or as a team. And Priya, we would be open to thanks to everybody to be so patient. I hope we've not bored anybody.
Yes.
No.
Thank
You
you so
haven't.
much,
You
everyone.
We'll
haven't
be
at all.
open to questions now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are open.
Yeah.
So, in fact, it's I have my eye on the clock and it's 8:15. So I'm sure everybody has questions. Rahul, I have a request. I would like your permission to share your phone numbers with our audience, so that because the topics are so deep that if they ask you a question, it's going to take you 15 minutes to answer that. It's such
Maybe
an
we could
intensive
take
topic.
2 or 3
Okay.
questions if possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
So
because I'm
maybe I
sure
think
everybody has spent so much time listening
yes,
to us.
I would request Gayatri Godse and Vinita Kure first to ask questions. The reason being that both of them are working in very different areas. Gayatri herself is also a very good artist, and Vinita is doing multifaceted work. So, Gayatri, I would request you to ask one question, followed by Vinita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi Rahul. Hi Amol.
Hi.
Hi
Hi.
Priya.
Hi.
I'm working in the field of landscape architecture, and I saw the presentation right from the first slides, and it is very beautiful. Um, I myself have experienced that how the graphics changes the whole thing, the whole appearance of the space and
Wow,
all.
that's something.
I like your atriums the most in the projects. They are really beautiful. Um, Actually, uh, I would I saw that many things are quite 2D.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever tried with mobile sculptures which are hanging in the
Yeah. So
atriums or in the open spaces?
it's a very interesting question you
Yeah.
asked, uh, and it's very dear to our heart. The atrium for FISA, we had worked very, very closely to develop a kinetic sculpture,
Yeah.
Right.
which is on thousands of algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
And you must look up the work of Rugo Margolin, who is one of the world's top kinetic sculpture artists.
Okay.
And we collaborated with a product design firm in Pune to make that sculpture. But everybody was scared that it will fall on somebody's head.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
So
okay.
we had to give up. We worked 2 months on that idea to the extent
Oh,
how the algorithms will work. We showed them videos, but sometimes things don't happen.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
You
we
can see that in sketches.
all that
Sketches
research,
and first part.
in our paper.
Rahul, we would like to see that sketch sometime. All those.
Yeah, I will send it to you. Yeah.
Please.
And
Yeah.
I'm very keen that in the next 2 years we do a project which has a kinetic sculpture.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
True.
wow.
True. True.
Keen to
We
see
need,
that.
Vinita, you had a question, I think.
Yeah.
It was one wonderful program and we enjoyed it thoroughly right from the starting to end of it. I would like to ask you one thing. How much time you allocate to one project approx on
Good
an average?
question. Vinita, good question. Gayatri and Vinita, I'm glad I asked you to ask the first two questions.
Looking at the theories and
I know, yeah.
experimentation and mock-up details and everything,
Correct.
I would really ask this question.
So we
So
are
as I
okay. Let
Huh.
Amol say and then I'll say.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, in few of the projects we have worked more than 14 hours. So this will come if you have the passion towards it and if you are a real artist and you want to
True,
do such a
true.
beautiful things that memorize you or creates a landmark for yourself and your satisfaction, then time and money is not a limit and not a question, to be
No,
very
I
frank.
mean, not for us, but then the giving that much of time from the client side, it is also an very much time to be like one has to understand all those things.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
you
Even, I
have
mean, that was
you
my
have to
question also.
educate actually.
I'll
So
just
at
add
times
to,
we are ready to allocate
Correct,
that
correct.
much of
Yeah.
time, but then the clients are not in that.
Very true.
I'd like to
Very
add
true.
to what Amol said. You know, understanding the way we work. So I can talk for NGK. We are a boutique firm which fluctuates between 6 to 10 people. And at a time, we do 6 to 7 projects. We can't do more because that's the team size we have. But uh, for specific installations where graphics are involved or transformation is involved, uh, right at the beginning, where say for example, I'm called for a project with Amol. Right from the beginning, we spend quite a lot of time in working out our fees because there's a lot of rework involved, and no client is ready to pay extra after a certain point. So
That goes without saying.
all that has to be factored in into the commercial proposal. And I'll be very candid. We have lost a lot of work because we have people have seen us to be expensive.
Right.
No,
Okay.
many times we have lost projects just because they find our fees very high. But I guess, in this, as Amol was saying, everything comes from the heart. And then there is not, you cannot say, Maja scope madhe hai and hey nahi. It doesn't work. You have to immerse yourself,
Correct.
Agreed.
So right at the beginning, now there is some kind of a formula developed as to how much something would cost in terms of man hours. And if there are clients willing to invest that kind of money, and also we ask for the client's time because
Time.
certain things you can't change. It is not like a piece of drawing on AutoCAD that you can do a delete command. You have to break the whole thing down. So we have tried to come up with some workable formula as of now. Those who accept that, we work with them.
So I'll just take two last questions in case somebody wants to ask. Otherwise, I would request, there are two gentlemen here. One is Ashok Satkar, who has come from Ahmednagar. He's an engineer. And second is Milind Gokhale, who himself is a artist and many more things.
Sure.
So Ashok sir, can you ask a question related to probably the tech part of this?
Sure.
Ashok Satkar, तुम्ही आहात? I'm not sure. Milind Gokhale, are you there? I can see you. Okay. Well, Mahesh, can I request you to ask a question since you are an architect yourself and you've seen the evolution of this program?
Yeah, actually, Vinita ma'am had actually put in the same question. I also had the same question. Was that what you rightly said was definitely that when you code, you have worked out a kind of golden proportion or a principle for understanding your fees and the efforts you're going to put in, right? And when we actually build, because being a practicing architect myself, we had also been through all of these situations, So when we actually built our solution, this was fundamental when it came down, So what I need to ask you that, let's say that you have been doing fantastic work, but how do you scale it up now? So that is my question to you. How you are saying that we do only boutique, that we are able to cater to only some amount of work. What if you post lockdown, you have 10 projects coming into your kitty and you need to handle them? What will happen?
So yeah, it's a very interesting question, and I would say, at least for our practice, which just completed 5 years on 11th May, uh, you know, Mahesh, all the work has come because a vibration has struck between us and the client.
Right.
And when there is mutual, when I say vibration, it comes with a lot of mutual respect. And when they understand that you are the person who can create their project, then only a project happens. Otherwise, I have seen, Amol has witness to it, we have gone and sat for hours in front of the client, because to give a quote also you have to work, no?
Right.
And that they don't understand what we are saying. So where the vibration clicks, it happens. And I'm a firm believer that there is somebody up there.
Right. But that's exactly I was coming down to, because so many iterations actually take up a lot of your time.
Yes.
So
Right.
what we did in home was that you are able to actually map it also. You are able to show them that this is what is spent. Maybe you don't charge, but at least you can show
No,
them.
one thing we've developed a culture in our both our studios is we thoroughly document our work, because
Fantastic.
for the next
Right.
project it becomes like a proper case study where clients understand that what we are doing. Because today, to tell a new client what can graphics do, I mean, obviously architecture and interior design and master planning is my forte, but when we jointly work we have to demonstrate this.
Okay. There's a
Right.
question coming from Syed Tanvir, a very interesting person. He has a company which deals in furniture of authentic iron and leather. And he has a presence in Rajasthan also and Pune also. So,
Sure.
Syed, I would request you to ask your question. And friends, this will be the last question, following which myself and Aditya will just say the vote of thanks, and we will stop the session at exactly 8:30. So,
Sure.
Syed Tanvir, I request you to ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Priya ma'am, and thank you so much for such a wonderful lecture that you have. Kadam sir, I just wanted to know the thought process behind the Bajaj boardroom that you have designed. So you have designed the, with the traditional Indian ethos and the national bird that has to be taken care of. But I see, because since I am into the furniture manufacturing of hardwood, so I somehow lose the contact that all the furniture that has been used is of a modern look and modern texture, modern material that you have used. What was the thought process behind that?
So, Indian ethos does not mean that you completely do everything Indian. It is actually an Indian ethos with a global fusion. So, we have tried to do it in a very subtle way where tactile qualities, visual tactile qualities, and touch qualities. For example, the lounge sofas are made out of jute, they're not made out of leather. You know, we've used Indian woods, we've used Indian stones, we've used Indian motifs. And when you go into the boardroom, which I have not shown images of, we've actually used the state of the art technology, because they are going to have VC calls across the globe. The chairs are Italian chairs, one of the finest chairs in the world, where, because board meetings go on for 7 hours, so you need good amount of lumbar support for blood circulation, and the average age of a board member is beyond 55. So uh, but the carpet is hand woven from Varanasi, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I would love, if you come to my studio, I will show you the whole story. It can't be told in on the Zoom. But the crux of the matter is, I think the synergy between both worlds has been balanced. The global context and the Indian context has been balanced, because Bajaj Auto is a global company. It is doing business in 70 countries, but it's a rooted company from our own city with very strong Indian roots. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I would love to meet you in person.
So, friends, I would like to once again repeat that anybody amongst the gathering. In fact, there were many more. There are some network issues today everywhere. So I'm getting a lot of messages on my phone that cannot connect.
Yeah, I just have one point to
Yes.
make
Yes.
for benefit of all the viewers and attendees. I and Amol would love to answer every single question. So if
Sure.
you can WhatsApp it to Priya,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
can convene a
Yeah.
call in the next week where we answer the questions, and please feel free to share our numbers with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Call us and we'll be more than happy to engage on call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Sure.
So on this note, Rahul Kadam, Amol Kulkarni from Wide Angle Forum, this is me, Priya Gokhale, thanking you because the kind of stuff that you have told us today, not only is it very different, but I think each of the projects that you shared today, one can go on talking about it for an hour. So somewhere we have to call it a day. And so sincere thanks from me to you. Also a very, very big round of thanks to our partners today. Vipin sir, I can see him here smiling from Dalmia. Tushar is there from Aerolam. Mahesh is there from Om. And this wonderfully mixed audience that we have today, because today we have artists, we have architects, we have landscape architects, we have interior designers, we have furniture people who are rooted in their trade. We have a few digital artists. So I think this kind of mixed audience actually demonstrates that branding, graphics, design is, as Rahul keeps saying, it really synergizes, only the scale and level differs. So on this note, I would like first Tushar, then Vipin sir to just say a vote of thanks, and then I would request Aditya to say the final vote of thanks, and then we end the session. So over to you, Tushar.
Thank you very much for taking this session. I can still see participants eagerly, waiting to disperse, but then they are still glued to their own chairs. So I must say, I mean, this was a very interesting session. A lot of internal thought processes keep on coming. I mean, those who are novice for them also, and those who are a little bit kind of experienced, who have traveled these paths somewhere down the line. But thank you very much to Rahul Kadam sir, Amolji, and rest of the team. So I would like to see maybe such kind of more, open forums, giving a lot of good thought processes to not only the sponsors, but I mean, within the sponsors, there are, human beings who are residing. It's not that everybody is stamping money and making certain things, but we ourselves need to give a lot of thoughts to our own surroundings. I mean, today's theme being the rainwater harvesting, I would still like to echo the same thing to my society or my neighbor or my own terrace first, and then, walk the path that you have been talking about.
Absolutely.
It was very interesting. Yeah. Thanks for the case studies, and keep on doing these such programs. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Aditya, would you like to say something from your side?
Yes. So,
initiator.
First of all, I want to thank Rahulji and Amol for a wonderful presentation. It was really inspiring and great to see. Would definitely love to continue this discussion after the meeting as well. And of course, I want to thank the sponsors and all the well-wishers who have contributed to the cause of rainwater harvesting, which is very dear to me. And as Tusharji just said that we will start with our own societies, and it is a collective effort. So every single contribution counts. And finally, I want to thank Priyaji and Wide Angle Forum to bringing us all together to have this really wonderful and meaningful conversation. Kudos to you, Priyaji, and we would definitely like to see more of such discussions in coming days.
Right.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much. Have a great Sunday tomorrow. Let's all think over what maybe, even if all of us can get this done in our own house, I think that's where the success lies. And I'll be in touch with you later also we will be in touch with all of you. Thank you very much. Good night and stay healthy, stay safe. Here's a goodbye from Wide Angle Forum and all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you,
Be
everybody.
safe all. Yeah.